Hello everyone, welcome to Little Chapel of Faith. My name is Tina. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. We have platforms on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. If you're on any of those or all of those, please like, subscribe, and share. We are here with the readings from the Diary of Saint Faustina. We are... Don't fall on me now. Okay. We need glasses. We need our trusty magnifying glass because, I can't read this book without it. And I'm very excited that I can actually get through more of this book without, feeling like I have to stop because my eyes start blinking out. We are on page 5. Book 5, page 490, number 1371. O Lord, define my actions so that they will merit eternity, although my weakness is great. I trust in the power of your grace, which will sustain me. My Jesus, you know that from my earlier years, I have wanted to become a great saint. That is to say, I have wanted to love you with love so great that there would be no soul who has hereto loved you so. At first, these desires of mine were kept secret, and only Jesus knew of them. But today, I cannot contain them within my heart. I would like to cry out to the whole world, love God because he is good, and great is his mercy. O humdrum days filled with darkness, I look upon you with a solemn and festive eye. How great and solemn is the time that gives us the chance to gather merits for the eternal heaven. I understand how the saints make use of it. October 30th, 1937. Today, during the religious ceremonies taking place during Mass and the second day of Thanksgiving, I saw the Lord Jesus in great beauty, and he said to me, My daughter, I have not released you from taking action. I answered, Lord, my hand is too feeble for such work. Yes, I know. But, joined with my right hand, you will accomplish everything. Nevertheless, be obedient. Be obedient to the confessors. I will give them light on how to direct you. Lord, I already wanted to begin the work in your name, but Father S. keeps putting it off. Jesus answered me, I know this, so do just what is within your power, but you must never withdraw your efforts. November 1st, 1937. After Vespers today, there was a procession to the cemetery. I could not go because I was on duty at the gate, but that did not stop me at all from praying for the souls. As the procession was returning from the cemetery to the chapel, my soul felt the presence of many souls. I understood the great justice of God, how each one had to pay off the debt to the last cent. The Lord gave me an occasion to practice patience through a particular person with whom I have to carry out a certain task. She is slower than everyone I have ever seen. One has to arm oneself with great patience to listen to her tedious talk. November 5th. This morning, 5 unemployed men came to the gate and insisted on being let in. When Sister N had argued with them for quite a while and could not make them go away, she then came to the chapel to find Mother Irene, who told me to go. When I was still a good way away from the gate, I could hear them banging loudly. At first I was overcome with doubt and fear, and I did not know whether to open the gate or, like Sister N, to answer them through the little window. But suddenly I heard a voice in my soul saying, Go and open the gate and talk to them as sweetly as you talk to me. I'm going to tell you a little story after that about that such thing. I opened the gate at once and approached the most menacing of them and began to speak to them with such sweetness and calm that they did not know what to do with themselves. And they, too, began to speak gently and said, Well, it's too bad the convent can't give us work. The convent cannot give us work. And they went away peacefully. I felt clearly that Jesus, whom I received in Holy Communion just an hour before, had worked in their hearts through me. Oh, how good it is to act under God's inspiration. I felt worse today, and I went to Mother Superior, intending to ask her for permission to go to bed. However, before I could ask permission, Mother Superior said to me, Sister, you must somehow manage by yourself at the gate, because I am taking a girl to work at the cabbage, since there is no one else for the cabbage. I said, Good, and left the room. When I got to the gate, I felt unusually strong, and I was at the post all day and felt well. I experienced the power of holy obedience. November 10th, 1937. When Mother Irene showed me the booklet with the chaplet, the litany, and the novena, I asked her to let me look it over. As I was glancing through it, Jesus gave me to know interiorly, already there are many souls who have been drawn to my love by this image. My mercy acts in souls through this work. I learned that many souls had experienced God's grace. I learned that Mother Superior would have quite a heavy cross to bear together with physical suffering, but that it would not last long. It occurred to me to take the medicine, not by the spoonful, but by just a little at a time, because it was expensive. Instantly I heard a voice. My daughter, I do not like such conduct. Accept my gratitude with everything I give you through the superiors, and in this way you will please me more. When Sister Dominic died at about 1 o'clock in the night, she came to me and gave me to know that she was dead. I prayed fervently for her. In the morning, the sisters told me that she was no longer alive, and I replied that I knew because she had visited me. The sister I'm going to try to say this word. The sister infirmarian, Sister Christanum, asked me to help dress her. And then, when I was alone with her, the Lord let me know that she was still suffering in purgatory. I redoubled my prayers for her. However, despite the zeal with which I would always pray for our deceased sisters, I got mixed up as regards the days, and instead of obeying 3 days of prayer as the rule directs us to do, by mistake I offered only 2 days. On the 4th day, she gave me to know that I still owed her prayers and that she was indeed in need of them. I immediately informed my intention of offering a whole day for her, and not just that day, but much more, as love of a neighbor dictated me to. And I think I'm going to leave it there for today. As you know, the story there where they talk about the people who were talking loudly at the door. I work in customer service, so you can imagine it's not always a pleasant thing. I really enjoy helping people, but some people are just beyond. They push you beyond your limits and can be so rude and so unkind. And I dealt with that yesterday with someone I had been working with, who was really, from the start, very strong personality. And I did everything I could, to do what I do at my job to help. And it wasn't enough, apparently. And I was called a bevy of names. Including useless, and I was sworn at. It was terrible. I'm not even repeat it, but for one moment, I just wanted to respond to it, and then I had to stop myself, and just like. I'm really trying to be more, when someone is unkind to me, I've just tried to be more tolerant and more just step back a minute and just think, and I hate to use the cliche, the phrase, what would Jesus do? But I did. And so I just stepped back. I didn't respond. And I just let my manager know what had transpired, and I just let him take it from there. Because, I think I just couldn't believe how people can be so cruel. I'm a strong person, so thank God for that. But if you get somebody who wasn't, or someone who was more, who took those things to heart, the things that were said to me, which were all, first of all, they were all untrue, everything that I was being accused of. But in the way they were put, you could really hurt someone, and words can hurt. And people need to realize that. When you say something to someone, anyone, even on here, we have these problems all the time. As I made a post last week, think about what you're saying before you say it and realize that there's somebody on the other side of that screen because, at work we have texting app. It's easy to be cruel on the other side of a keyboard, but realize that you may be really doing damage to someone on the other side of that keyboard who may not have what you have in them. And there's no need to be cruel and there's no need to be unkind. Think about what you might want said to you. Would you want those things said to you? Probably not. But in any case, that's the way it is. It's the nature of my job, and, I take it for what it is. But I wanted to share that one in particular because I think it had to be one of the worst things that I dealt with in my job as a customer service person. And it made me stop and think, I think it was kind of like a little test to see how I would react. And I think I did the best thing I could do was to do nothing at all. I was kind, it wasn't like I was unkind at that. I even, explained the situation. I said thank you kindly, but I was just met with like the worst, hatred you could possibly get. So I just let it be at that. There's nothing, and sometimes that's what you have to do. It's not because, and I, because I always used to think, well, you turn the other cheek, and what does it mean? So you're supposed to just, but no, it's not about really turning the other cheek. It's just about, being the bigger person and just leaving it to God. So that's what I did. But anyway, that's my story. And it just reminded me of that when it was kind of funny that that particular thing came in there, and it was almost like maybe a little message. I don't know. But anyway. I hope you all have a beautiful day. Be well. Be safe. Be kind to each other. May God bless us all.